This episode of the DisCast was recorded on
August 6, 2014.
at discast.us/live. Tune in Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern to watch the show, or watch recorded episodes on YouTube and iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at DisCastShow, tune to the trivia contest, and more. If you're feeling generous, please throw us a donation on our PayPal or our Patreon to get cool prizes. It would really help us a lot. Thank you, and enjoy the DisCast. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas. To our new listeners, we welcome you aboard our podcast Highway in the Sky and hope you've enjoyed the past week. For those of you standing, please hold on to your headphones at all times and stand clear of the doors. For the comfort of others, no trolling please. Thank you, and enjoy the DisCast. Hey, what is up guys? It is Ryan and welcome to the DisCast. Today is August 6th, 2014 and it's shortly after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here today with Darren. Say hello, Darren.
Hey, you know what's funny is I could always hear, like, I don't hear the music cutting off, like the intro going,
Right.
because I'm not the one broadcasting,
Yeah.
but I could always tell when it's about to end because you always do like a big deep breath in, and you're like, hey guys.
Yeah, I know, I gotta
Yeah.
do that. It's
It's almost like a little, like, point off to me.
Yes.
Like,
Well, I mean, I also kind of say the intro, so I hold on to your headphones, blah, 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 like, to myself so you know where we are. And
yeah.
also just because I enjoy saying it, so. But, you know, you decide which. Alright, we got tons of awesome news today. We got some more limited edition Magic Bands coming out. We have that awful People Mover paint scheme that I hate. And then we have a ton of Star Wars stuff going on. I cannot wait to talk about the Star Wars announcements. We're going to do that towards the end of the show, though, so we do have tons of stuff to do before that. And one of those things, Darren... Oh, yeah, by the way, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy this past weekend twice. Once with my father, and then another time with Danielle, because she hadn't seen it. I thought it was excellent. It was really good.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, my favorite Marvel movie, definitely.
And I initially heard it was going to be terrible, so...
I heard, ever since, I didn't hear anything about it until the previews came out of the parks, and from that moment forward, I heard absolutely no bad things about it.
Oh, yeah.
I had my
no,
doubts.
I'm saying prior to that.
Yeah, from the
Prior
first
to that,
teaser
it
trailers and stuff, I
yeah.
had my doubts. But there's definitely... Yeah, it was definitely a really, really good
You know
movie.
what I've heard?
And
I've heard surprisingly
I'm on-
good things about the new Planes movie.
Really?
I've heard very good things about that, and it looks decent. And I almost like kind of want to go see it, but the logical human being in me is deciding against it.
Okay, got it. Sure. Maybe if Pixar had more of a hand in it, then I'd go see it. But you know, they don't.
Then it would
so
be
there's-
like another Cars movie, and Cars 2 is
pretty
fantastic.
much. Yeah. Well, I mean, I like Cars too.
You know,
lot of people
it
did not
wasn't
like
a home run. I don't think it was a home run.
Whatever.
You know what? Speaking of home runs,
speaking of home runs.
Spectre Radio.
Spectre Radio is a home run.
He referring the company as him. He is the best of all Disney Parks online radio stations.
Yes.
The best.
The best. Go check it out. 24/7
yeah, go check-
Disney Parks music. Do when you do your work.
SpectreRadio.us. Go
That's
check it
fun.
out.
Why are we getting Skype calls? We're getting pulled into a Skype group during the show. God damn.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so also, I'm on the bandwagon to change Stitch's Great Escape to Rocket Raccoon's Great Escape.
Really?
I think it's a good idea.
You think that's a good idea?
I don't know. I just kind of a thing that came to me during the movie. That'd be a good idea, but I don't know. We'll see.
That's like somebody who thinks Frozen being
That's
thrown
different.
in Norway is...
I think that's different, my opinion. But
Explain.
well, I was gonna go into the trivia because we have been doing this for 3 minutes now.
Oh.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it at the end, okay? How about that? All right.
I guess.
So first off, we're gonna start.
Just have no reasoning behind it.
Yeah, we're gonna start with.
You got an hour to think of it.
Okay. We're starting with our
Trivia.
trivia. There you go. So last week we asked you guys to tell us which Disney resort the document was signed that officially ended the Beatles. A pretty easy question.
Art of Animation.
Yep, Art of Animation. Darren said no, it's not Art of Animation. It is the Polynesian, which is now Polynesian Village, but we'll get to that later. Imagineer6 on Twitter, you have won. You're on the postcard of winners, index card of winners, whatever you want to call it. And there you go. A little early there, legit.
Hashtag DisCast Trivia. Get it right.
Oh yeah, he also...
See, if he's gonna try and one-up me, he has to at least get it right.
That's true, that's true. And so now, your trivia question for this week is, What show can you watch at the Caravan stage? If you think you know the answer, do not put it in the Twitch chat. Go on over to Twitter, tag us at DisCast Show with the hashtag DisCastTrivia. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. So once again, that is what show can you watch at the Caravan stage? Alright. There you go. Alright, so that's it with our trivia. Now we can go on to our news. First up,
You got a lot of news today, actually.
we do have a lot of news. I mean, it might just look like that on the show note document because there's so many different categories of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, our first news story for the night has to do with My Magic Plus, as it always does. My Magic Plus. Yep, we got the picture up there and everything.
Infamous
So,
picture. Do you have the stereotypical picture or the
yes,
picture
of
that relates
course.
to the story?
I don't have the picture that relates to the story. I was going to show that up because I like having this picture up. Anyway, Olaf is getting his own limited edition Magic Band. It's available now. There's only 5,000 of them going out. So there you go.
They're probably all sold out by now.
Yeah, they retail at $29.95. The Star Wars ones obviously were a huge hit. The non-limited edition Frozen ones were a big hit. So they're putting out this more limited edition one. Here's Olaf. Let's take it out of here. Look at it. It's green. There's a springtime scene. Summertime scene. Olaf's chilling.
Well, it could be spring. We don't.
Well, yes, it was probably summer because Olaf
confirmation.
in summer.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yes. So it's the same as all your other My Magic Band purchases. You do have a working band with you to sync it to and stuff.
Didn't the Star Wars ones? Those made specific different noises, right?
Yes, they made special noises. I don't think these do.
That would be so
There's
cool.
no
If,
talk
like
of
the
that.
Olaf one, if it was like, summer.
Yeah, with that voice, just you.
It had me instead of Olaf.
Yes.
It's all
yeah.
part of the magic, you know?
There you go. I don't know what the deal is going to be. In terms of sound, I guess there is no sound because we haven't heard anything about it. But
Yeah.
only 5,000 of them. I'm sure that most of them are gone already. And
Oh,
so
I'll
there
get
you go.
all of them.
Yep.
by now.
All right. So there's a bunch of executive shuffling going on within the theme parks division of the Walt Disney Company. As we all know, the Shanghai Disney Resort is close to finished. It's working there and stuff. And Rush says, Olaf yelling summer every time you scan in. Yikes. I'd be annoying a little bit, but I don't know. I like the vanilla sounds, by the way, but whatever. Anyway, so Shanghai Disney Resort is almost complete. So they are starting to work on the staffing for that area, specifically the management staff. So what's going to happen is the current president of Euro Disney, which is Disneyland Paris, the company that owns Disneyland Paris, which is Felipe Guess. He is going to move to the general manager of Shanghai. And then Tom Walber, who is currently the senior vice president of Walt Disney World Resort Operations and Transportation Operations, he is going to move to the president of Euro Disney.
Now, what is Tom Staggs? Is he president of Walt Disney World?
Tom
or
Staggs
he
is the
just
chairman
overall.
Tom Staggs is the chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts.
Okay, so
everything.
he's overall everything.
Yeah, that dude whose name I can never pronounce is the president of.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Now, Tom Walbert, who's going to Paris, he was the resort operations, transportation operations guy. So he oversaw all of the resorts, all of that stuff, and the extensive transportation thing that Walt Disney World has. Before that, he was also in charge of the launch of the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy, and he's the guy who planned Disney Springs. So, yeah, Calogridis. Knight, how do you pronounce his name? I don't know. I knew it was George something.
That's an interesting last name.
Calogridis. I don't know. Is it like Kellogg's? I don't know. Now Tom's gonna get his new position in September, and we don't know Calogridis. There you go. Thank you, Knight. Now we don't know who's going to take over Tom's position. But Tom has done some good things in the past.
He's done a lot of good things. I've enjoyed his run. He knows what's up.
Yes, he does. So hopefully he can revitalize Disneyland Paris a bit, you know? Callow agreed DisCast. The cast is silent. I like it. All right. Yes. So that's the deal. We know Tom has a good track record. I don't know too much about Felipe, except his cool name. So we'll see what goes on. That's Felipe spelled PH too. I've never seen that before. I guess it's a French thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I've only seen a Felipe like Hispanic, but okay. There you
Interesting.
go. Definitely interesting. And so there we go. Now, the Polynesian is no more.
Now, we talked about this a few weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
You know,
They announced this. They announced this at the press conference on the 30th of April, if I remember correctly, for Seven Dwarfs.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah. Fun times.
Yes. Now, the deal with that is they're changing it back to the original name of Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. Now,
and what we personally talked about on the show was that, you know, when do people just stop calling it the Polynesian?
Oh, well, that's now.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, this is the official.
Yes.
Like, day.
Yes. So Disney's Polynesian
Actually,
Resort is no more. It is now Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, as it was before. Here's the new map, as you can see.
Is it frowned upon if you just call it Polynesian?
Who cares?
It's like calling Hollywood Studios MGM. Like, people
Yeah,
still do.
not really, though, because Polynesian is still part of the name.
Yeah.
I'm still just going to call it Poly. Screw it. You know? So, yeah. It's more of a village now, so it kind of deserves that new name.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the sign outside in front. I don't know if that's different yet or what.
I feel like they put that up already. Like, that was one of the original things to go up.
Okay.
Because I feel like we saw, like, a picture of it or something. I remember
You know
seeing
what
a
I
picture
think?
of it. Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah. Like, a few weeks ago. Maybe... Actually,
Yeah.
it was the week Seven Dwarfs opened.
Okay, they showed
I
the new
remember that
sign
was-
too? Alright.
Yeah.
Now, I did hear from a very reputable source that the water feature in the lobby was going to return, however, not on the large scale that we know it
Yeah,
is.
like the waterfall.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's going to be back in there. It's not going to be huge, though, which is unfortunate, because...
It was a highlight to going to the lobby.
Yes, I have not been to I've not spent that much time in Polynesian, but the time that I did spend there, getting off the monorail and taking a look around, the thing I liked the most were the rocky floors, the kind of cobblestone floors, and the water feature in the lobby.
Because they're the two most prominent parts
Yes.
of it. Like, they stand out the most.
And so it's kind of different. Yeah. So
You know
whatever.
what? It's changing. That's the way you have to look at it. You know, it's just making room for a lot more
Yes,
stuff.
they need a larger lobby to accommodate the larger guest space they're gonna have with all this stuff. So it makes sense. Pretty much the entire resort is closed right now. Kona Island, which is
They're
the
a mess.
Kona Island, which is the morning pastry place, and they also have sushi in the evening. It's gonna be closed as well for the length of the refurbishment. People think it's gonna open on October 1st, though, so it's kind of earlier than the other stuff. Here's the big list of things that are closed. Nania Volcano Pool, Kona Island, Barefoot Bay Pool Bar, the original Captain Cook's, and Trader Jack's. So most of the resort is pretty much closed. Not larger guests night, a larger capacity of guests. These are all the things that are closed, along with all the walls in the lobby for this refurbishment. I don't want to be staying at this resort when all this is going on, honestly. Because basically
You know what
everything's
it is?
closed.
It's just such a mess to have to deal with.
Yeah. I mean,
There is one good thing. You get that free day at which one of the...
Blizzard Beach, and
Yeah,
you can
Blizzard
go
Beach.
every day for free. So it's like Water Park Fun and More for free, pretty
Yeah.
much. If you didn't already have it. Yeah.
That's why I would go. I mean, think about like the amount of time you're actually like in the hotel and like not in the parks.
That's true, but sometimes it can be a lot, especially after many return trips. Sometimes you do want to spend a
True.
little bit more time at the resort. Get
Yeah.
to know the resort a little bit more. I know I've done that, especially staying in the Seven Seas Lagoon area. I stayed at Grand Floridian a lot, and there, it's kind of so easy to get to the park that sometimes you'll just kind of hang out at the hotel and be like, let's go to the park, like for the evening for an hour or whatever, then come back, then go back to the park. You know what I mean? And Cruzy, they can't just do that. Cruzy said, why don't they shut down Poly as a whole? you can't just shut down one of your deluxe resorts.
Well, I mean, they could.
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
It's not a bad idea, though. You
Think
know,
about
just
all of the revenue they'd be losing in hotel
it's not
rooms.
that they'd be
Think about
losing
all
the
the
revenue.
people-
It's just
Think about all
diluted
the people
into
who've
other
already
resorts.
made commitments to this resort.
Well, no.
They
What you do
already
is
have their rooms, and
you
listen,
do
you can't
it.
just
you
say
do it,
we're moving
you do
into
it
another
far in
hotel.
advance. No. You don't be like, hey, we're going to shut down this resort tomorrow. You be like, hey, 2 years from now, we're going to be doing renovations and adding in all this DVC stuff. So you can't book this resort from this date to this date.
Right. Well, obviously, it's way too late to do that. But also,
Well, yeah, no, they should have done that earlier.
you're
if they
just
were gonna do that.
decreasing your room capacity by however many rooms Poly has for a good, year.
I think if they were able to just work around the clock because they don't have guests to work around,
That's
could be done a
possible.
lot faster.
That's possible, but you don't want to just decrease your guest capacity for such a long.
yeah, but people aren't not going to go to Disney just because one resort is closed, right?
Well,
They're going to
maybe-
go to a different resort.
There are going to be people who would not have been staying at the resorts that would have, just because there's less rooms to go to. There
I
are
guess.
fewer rooms on property, and so there will be fewer people going to the place.
But that's why you don't do this during high capacity times. You do this in
There are no
your
low
Januarys
capacity
or your-
times for Disney. It's always big. Things are always booked. It's just
No, you
how
do
things
this in your January and February and maybe even early March, right? That gives you 2.5 to 3 solid months of just renovation. You know, you don't have to
probably not
work
gonna be
around guests. You don't have to worry about construction walls just so people have 6 inches to move from one place to
That's
another place.
probably I don't know the scope of what's going on, but that's probably not that wouldn't be enough amount of time. And also you have to think about not just as the number of rooms as a whole going down, but you have to view the number of rooms of a deluxe resort differently than the amount of rooms of
True.
a value resort. There's different people. People who are going to one thing are going to be expecting one thing. So yeah. Knight, whether the trend is going down or not, I think you still have to make as many rooms as available, and they wouldn't just want to shut down a resort for operations like that. Alright, so next up, I'm sure you've all seen the commercials and trailers and TV spots and stuff for Big Hero 6, which is Walt Disney Animation Studios' next big movie.
Are you excited for this?
Well, in the past, when I have been skeptical about a Disney animation movie, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Frozen is a big example right there.
Yeah.
I was
Guardians of the
very, very skeptical about Frozen,
Mhm.
and then the movie came out and it was amazing. So
Yeah.
Anyway, so Big Hero 6, we'll be having character meet and greets in the parks. We know that for a fact now. During this fall and probably for a long time afterwards. The movie's opening November 7th.
Have you had a chance to watch the trailers yet?
I saw the trailer, Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously.
Mhm.
It
From what I've
looks-
seen of the trailer, it looks like a well put together film.
Yeah, I feel better about it now than I felt about Frozen a year ago.
hmm Which is overall, it's a good thing.
Well, also the original trailer for Frozen had nothing to do with the plot and nothing to do with anything, so that might be just
It
the
was
kind
just
of
like-
trailer that was.
They really pushed Olaf, and they made it.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah,
That was
do you
like
remember?
the big critique of Frozen was it was terribly advertised.
In the beginning.
Yeah, but I guess it.
But it
turned
all
out.
went well. Look at the stupid meet and greets. But yeah, meet and greets for this one as well. We don't know
Hopefully
where.
that dials down the Frozen ones.
Yeah, we don't know when there's going to be the meet and greets. We don't know where the meet and greets are going to be. All we know is they're going to exist.
I imagine character spot at Epcot.
I think they're going to keep that for the big ones.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think that they'd be like, here, meet Baymax?
No, I don't
They'd
think
throw
so.
throw him at the end?
I don't think they're gonna put him in there.
Really? I feel like it would fit.
I'm
I don't know why.
I'm thinking animation courtyard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And maybe just randomly in Tomorrowland or something too. I feel like it'll be one of those random people you see in Disneyland's Tomorrowland. Because it's just weird there. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, sure. There's stormtroopers next to Space Mountain. That makes sense. Okay. That's how it was, though.
Hey, you know what? Disneyland is profitable, so whatever crazy character meet and greets they got going on, it's working.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, you would literally just see Buzz and stormtroopers just walking around all over the place at Disneyland Tomorrowland
See,
when I was
but
there.
Disneyland has this crazy ability to just have characters walking around on the parks.
Yes,
like
they used to, but not anymore.
they don't do that anymore.
Not
Disneyland
really.
doesn't
Kind
do
of.
that.
Kind of.
I feel like Peter Pan's still running around there, right?
Well, yeah, it's the nature of Peter Pan,
Yeah.
you know? I love that, by the way. Peter Pan.
Yeah, when they
running around
just kind of
and stuff.
like run around.
You gotta watch the videos.
They
of that,
have,
too.
uh,
It's great.
They have Alice and Mad Hatter too.
Disneyland's Alice and Mad Hatter are phenomenal.
Fantastic, yeah.
There are
If you have not seen videos, look up
I saw them in
Disneyland.
person.
Really?
Oh, they're awesome. I love them so much.
It's entertaining. It's
Yeah.
a shame that Walt Disney World doesn't have more like that. I think the closest that we have over here on the East Coast is probably Gaston.
Gaston.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And even then, that's barely like he's very restricted to where he is. Like he doesn't leave like his little box.
Yes, because that box is all about him, Darren. He's want to leave the box of areas that are all about him. It's Gaston's Tavern.
I
And
guess.
his statue.
Yes.
He as a character is not going to want to leave there. So there you go. Big Hero 6 meet and greets are coming.
Peter Pan. He's everywhere though.
Now it's time to talk about the People Mover. The Tomorrowland
This is
Transit
disgusting.
Authority People Mover opened on the 5th of August, which is yesterday, after a large refurbishment of the whole building. And it has this new orange and red color scheme, and I absolutely hate it.
It's gross. You know what's even gross? Like even more gross than the paint scheme is I'm looking at the ground with the area near the construction is,
Yeah.
and it looks gross. Like the ground just looks unappealing to like walk on.
Now, okay. Okay, let's get through, hold on, let me get through the facts first when we talk about our opinions. Anyway, after being closed for 2 months, the ride is now reopened. It had delayed opening, and it started early. And even after that, it seems really, really, really unfinished. Now, the new paint doesn't seem like it's done. Part of the station is done. The ride itself has not changed. We still have the old ride vehicles, and also on those old vehicles, not all of them are open right now because they're redoing the padding and the cushioning on well, there was no cushioning. I think they're putting cushioning on there. And I heard from some people that, yes, okay. Hold on, I'll get to all your comments in a minute, because I'm reading your comments and I'm like, want to talk about them, but I have to finish this first. Anyway, I heard that the ride vehicles were actually getting replaced, and apparently there's new audio as well. Awesome Geek said, when I asked him if there was new audio, because I had heard there wasn't new audio yet, but I heard there was going to be new audio, he said, not everywhere, or not all of it. So they changed some of it, I guess?
I don't know.
I love People Mover, I don't want them to destroy it. The red is alright.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The orange, though, on the escalator and in the station.
Whoever decided that yellow, red, orange, and blue is a good color combination is high.
Is this like Playhouse Disney again? Like, it looks
You know
like
what? This reminds me of the Epcot paint scheme, right? Where it's just we have random
But that
paint
kind
buckets
of
from the
works.
80s. Let's just I think actually Spectro tweeted about that. They just have these paint buckets and they're like, let's just get rid of everything and just paint different rides different colors and see whatever people like, and what they like will change and what they don't like will keep.
Right. Whoa, awesome. They're keeping some of the old audio, but they're changing some of it. How does that even work? You can't do that. There's no continuity anymore. I hope that's wrong. I hope you are completely
Well,
incorrect.
there's
in
no
saying that.
continuity in the ride color also.
Well, yes. The Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover, now with 0% continuity. It's like the Minecraft splash text on the side. It just says now with no continuity. It's not dumb. I like the blue kind of color on Tomorrowland.
and then on the side, it's still like I guess that's a tealish.
Yes, the
It's
tealish
got-
blue on the side still.
Why would they not?
It's either
You can tell
not
where they-
finished.
I hope it's not finished. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I hope it's not finished. I hope
Ugh.
you know what? If they're making it all like the red, orange, and yellow, like if they make it that like if they make it like that, it's perfect. but they're throwing in the blues, and everything's just so
The blues look so
offsetting.
much better than the...
Yeah, look, Tomorrowland's color is blue, so I can't wrap my mind around why they're even considering doing this, or why they did consider doing this, and they went forth with doing this. But it just doesn't make any sense. It's just colors.
I don't know.
You know what? I was talking with somebody a while back, and we were talking about Tomorrowland and Future World and Epcot, and there was just, when you're dealing with something Tomorrowland-esque or Future World-esque, there's this massive guessing game involved of what the future is actually going to be about.
Right.
And so something that might look ridiculous or might look out of style now, it could be, where we're heading. You don't... This is trying to justify what this disaster is. You can't just assume that these people are blindly picking colors. There's some thought process that's going
Maybe
into
they're
it.
changing the attraction itself somehow.
Maybe.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll
I'm sure some thought went into this. I'm sure hours of research went into this. Like, I was reading a post a few weeks ago about how Epcot, Future World, was right, and they were right 30 years in the past about things we'd be doing today. They'd say,
but that's Future
video
World.
calling
Future World's supposed to be that.
But this is Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland and Magic Kingdom is fantasy.
I guess.
That's what I don't like. Future World is the real future. Tomorrowland is the fantasy.
I don't know. I think that's the only way to even consider justifying this anyway.
But in any case,
saying they're trying to be ahead of the curve.
No. Don't even try to convince yourself of that. But whatever. I guess
maybe this has to do with the Astro Orbiter stuff. Like,
I don't know. Let's leave it here and let's just say let's hope things are changing. Because oof.
Like the red, orange, and yellow, it's like the flames of a rocket.
Yeah. Let's hope this is a developing story.
It's very...
And let's hope that things are different. Alright. So we have a new feature coming to... We have a new feature coming to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and it's called Club Villain. And it's a character dance party, which is going to be at the Diamond Horseshoe Saloon in Frontierland. You get to dance with villains throughout the night.
Ooh.
Yes.
I feel like... what was it, last month or 2 months ago, where Disney was like, we're going to have over 100 villains at Not So Scary Halloween Party? Right? Was that the one where they said over 100 villains are going to be?
Yeah. No, I think that was the Unleash the Villains.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, I feel like, I don't know, I might be getting the two parks mixed up, but I feel like they're just kind of like making up events for hitting that 100 number.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not it, though. That's not the same event.
I'm sure that they are, though.
Dance with Chernabog. That sounds like fun. I'll do it. Dancing with the Devil. Oh, that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, also continuing are all the things we know and love. Hollow Wishes, the Boo to You Halloween Parade, the Villains Mix and Mingle Castle Stage Show, and Trick-or-Treating, of course, and all that cool stuff. Danielle's going, so yes, I'll tell her to go check out Club Villain to see how it is. There you go. Next up, we were talking last week about the After Hours street party for food and wine. That is confirmed. It's not just a rumor anymore. And I was right. It will cost money to get in, $79 plus tax, which is just exactly what I thought it would be. And Darren was somehow didn't seem like it would happen.
The thing is, I thought of an entirely different situation, right? Like, I thought it's like I guess I thought of it more.
Yeah, you
as
thought in a world where Disney's not a corporation and not trying to make money.
You know what? I thought back to when Walt was in charge and
so for
wouldn't
$80,
even consider doing this.
So for $80, you'll go on inside. It's a party from 9:45. You get in at 9, and it lasts till 1 a.m. And it's just more time without the crowds for you to try all these awesome foods. Going to be DJ and musical performances. Now we know there's going to be Canada, Greece, Hawaii, and desserts and champagne. And we don't know what other kiosks will be available. Yes.
They so...
No, I would definitely do this if I was there.
You have to be over 18, right? Or 21?
Do you?
I think. I was reading one of their after parties that they're doing.
Well, this isn't like.
This is just kind of whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
if I could do it, I would do it. Let's put it that way.
I gotcha.
I don't think it's that big of a thing. I mean, I don't think it's that bad of a thing. All right, now, 7D TV show. Let's not even get started about that. It looks dumb.
Wait, what?
The 7D TV show. Really? You don't know about that?
No.
Okay.
I'm not new with that. What is that?
It's a
Explain.
TV show with the Seven Dwarfs as stupid characters.
Why?
Because Disney's dumb? Give me like Disney XD or some crap. Go look it up later. Anyway.
No.
Anyway, It's Tough to Be a Bug is going to be closed for an additional 6 weeks, as if people care. Instead of opening back up on August 11th, they'll be reopening on September 28th.
You know,
That's all I have to say about
that show ride, it is going to reach an entirely new level of irrelevance within the next 5 years. I'm calling that right now, because A Bug's Life is such an obscure movie that I'm sure children now don't watch.
I mean, it's Pixar.
I know, but that's like,
One
do
of my
people
least
watch
favorite Pixar
Ratatouille
movies, but,
frequently?
That's true. It's gotta go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You know, you can't just justify a movie, oh, well, like, it's Disney, so everybody watches it. Like, no. You know, Hercules is becoming obscure. Hercules has kind of been obscure. Like, that's a great movie, but people don't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
It just hasn't withstood the test of time. So I think that right, or show, or whatever we're calling it, is going to change. Yeah.
Alright, anyway, yeah.
I call like those 4D experiences, I call those rides rather than shows.
Right.
Because,
Right. Alright. So there you go, it's
stretches
gone.
the borders of show.
Yep.
Star
So
Wars.
now...
There's some relevant news.
Yeah, now on to the main event, what everyone's here for, and that's Star Wars.
Us?
Oh. Yeah. You're here for us. Screw Star Wars.
Mostly me,
We're just
yeah.
gonna talk about ourselves for the rest of the show, you know, just us.
You know, my favorite color is blue.
Yes, so is
That's
mine.
why I am so upset about this Tomorrowland.
Me
change.
too. Me too.
Unless they're making everything red.
Alright, anyway, back to what we actually
that
care
wasn't-
about, Star Wars. So, many news articles from yesterday. Well, anyway, Q3 has ended. And now is the time of year, well, one of the 4 times of year, where the CEOs of all major companies go and get into investor calls with the higher-up investors of their company and say, yo, here's how we did, and here's what we're going to talk about for the next quarter. And so Bob Iger is no different among these people, and he started to he went into investors conversation and was talking about Star Wars and the theme parks, and Bob said that the Walt Disney Company plans for a far greater Star Wars presence in its theme parks, which is really good and really what we've been expecting.
Yes.
This is the first concrete news we've heard about Star Wars in the theme parks ever. Rush said, yeah, I don't come from Star Wars, and then Craig says, get your priorities straight. Yeah, so as we all know, there's going to be a new Star Wars movie in theaters on December 18th, 2015 that J.J. Abrams is directing. We know that DICE is developing
That's good.
the next edition in the Star Wars Battlefront game series that I love. And we do know there are 2 big events in 2015 where Disney can hype up things about Star Wars. Now, obviously, we already have Star Tours, but Disney
More.
wants a far greater presence. And Bob Iger
And
said,
now they have the ability to do it.
Bob Iger said that new attractions will be revealed next year. Now, where will that happen? Probably one of the 2 places. Either Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim on April 16th to the 19th, or it will be at D23, which will be from August 14th to 16th, also at the same convention center.
You want to go there next year?
I want to go. That'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go down to LA. See some Star Wars. Let's go to D23. It'd be awesome.
Good LA. Yeah.
Go to LA. Yes.
I actually, if I'm going to college there, I'll already be there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come visit me.
Yeah, I'll go visit you. We'll go to D23.
Look at this. Everything's falling
all works out.
together.
Anyway, so Disney did not want to. Disney knew they were probably going to buy Star Wars for years before they did. And they already had Star Tours, and they decided not to do anything else with Star Tours until they finished the deal. And they also got the Indiana Jones franchise, as we're aware of. Now, here's a funny thing that Bob Iger said. He said that when Disney now decides to build new attractions, the likelihood of their success is greater when they're branded. When we grow Star Wars presence, which we will do significantly, you will see better bets being made that will pay off for us than were made in the past. He also said that since they've been buying a bunch of franchises and stuff recently, having all these more branded franchises and properties and stuff will deliver better returns than what we saw in the past.
It's 100% true.
Yes, well, I mean, look at Cars. That's his prime example. Look at Cars. It worked with Cars. It will work with everything else. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, even though it is an outdated IP, it's still an IP that Disney owns, and it still does really well. Toy Story has its own theme land in Hong Kong and in Paris. Avatar is having one in Walt Disney's Animal Kingdom. Now,
I'm hoping Disney's gonna do something totally out of the blue and not announce anything at either two of the big California events. I mean, they could do that for Disneyland, whatever they're gonna do over there, but I think for Disney World, they should just on a random day of Star Wars weekend, just announce it. Just announce whatever their plans are.
That'd be interesting. I mean, you have to remember, D23 is not a California thing; it's a Disney company thing.
Well, I know,
everything's happening in the company.
But I don't know. I felt that the whole Seven Dwarfs stuff over there, like anything that gets announced at D23, like I feel like there should be two different conventions, right?
Okay.
As far as
parks and everything else.
Yes.
Really?
And yes.
I don't think
100%. That's what I think.
I don't think they want to give out that much information for the parks. They'd rather be like, "Oh, here's a press conference about the parks," and that's it.
Well, I mean, when you think about D23...
Now, Rush. Okay, Rush says something very... this is more pertinent to the article. Sorry. Rush says, well, hey, Expedition Everest is original and was a hit. Yes, so was Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean. Those two rides were so successful that they started their own brands. The opposite of what they want to do nowadays. Instead of taking brands and making them successful rides, they took successful rides and turned them into brands. Look at Pirates now. Pirates is one of the highest grossing film series of all time, and it came from a theme park attraction. I say one of it's in like the top 50.
You know what the best example of this was?
Yeah.
This was after a Disney film when they took Lilo and Stitch and they replaced the hit ride with Stitch's Great Escape.
Well, that's the problem. That's what people don't want to happen with, like, Frozen. And Stitch's Great Escape is not a good ride. We all know that.
I disagree.
The Grand Fiesta Tour in Epcot, that was just a cheap rebranding of things in Mexico just to have popular characters at the time, the Three Caballeros, who just happened to be Mexican, but who cares? Now, Disney...
That's not that big, though. Like, that's a small thing. Like,
the article goes on to say about how ESPN is a huge moneymaker for the company as a whole. However, they don't want to put too much of ESPN to the parks, and Bob said that this is because... I'm calling him Bob, our first name basis. And Iger said... If we can be more professional here. Iger said that, in general, the experience people want of a theme park is more of a storytelling experience, not necessarily a sports experience. The presence of ESPN in the parks doesn't seem to be...
What's the story of Haunted Mansion?
The story? Are you kidding me?
What's the storyline of Haunted Mansion?
It's a haunted house, and there's 999 happy haunts.
Okay, what's the storyline?
I mean, what's the storyline?
Well, they want to do storytelling, right?
Yes. And
where's the beginning, middle, and end?
Haunted Mansion is
Where's the climax? What's the climax of this?
It's not plot, okay? It's not necessarily plot.
Haunted
Mansion is arguably... Haunted Mansion arguably is one of the prime examples of how Disney can take an original idea and make this story.
We're off that, okay?
And it's more of like...
You don't need
the story is not explicitly told, all right? Here's the deal.
I don't think there's a story told at all.
Saying that you don't need a story told is completely contrary to Walt Disney Imagineering's main missions. First of all, 'cause that's what they do. If you ask any Imagineer what they're doing, what?
What's the story of Soarin'?
Soarin'? You are taking a journey on to the Amazing state of California, which will one day be 6 states, and then Soren will have
But-
nothing to do. Hey, no, what's gonna happen to Disney's California Adventure if the 6 California plans happen?
I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. Like, I know that they have the population and stuff, but that's like saying Long Island's going to split off New York.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
they
that
they
won't
could.
happen. They could,
have
but it would be
they
so
have
bad.
the 3 million plus people on the island.
You also have to think
but
about
it's
the
like-
economy and stuff, but it works for California's economy. But still, that's besides the point. Anyway,
But, okay, so there's really no story in Soren, right?
yes,
It,
there
arguably,
is.
there's no story there whatsoever, and that's a hit ride. Like, you know, the idea that we need a story to bang out a hit ride is completely false.
Stories, whether explicitly given or implicitly given, are still stories. Whether you have to think a little bit yourself to find the story or not.
Universal doesn't really do with stories.
Yes, I know, and that's Universal. You have to look at Disney though.
I'm just saying, you know, you could have hits without having.
And
a
as of
story.
late, Universal has been going more towards the story ideas because that's what's better. That's what people like to see. That's what Walt Disney Imagineering has been showing us for over 50 years. 60 years. 59 years.
There was a video that I saw by a writer.
No
I
story
think
for
that-
Space Mountain? Of course there's a story for Space Mountain. Anyway,
What's the
keep going.
story on Space Mountain?
Well,
Tomorrowland Transit Authority. What's the story?
what's the... Okay,
What's the story?
which one do you want
What is
first?
it? Both of them at the same
Both at
time.
the same time. So Space Mountain, you're traveling through, and there's a transportation system. It's called the high-tech highway in the sky, in space, through Tomorrowland.
Okay.
Both at the
let's-
same time. There you go. Do you regret that yet?
No, you proved my point exactly. It made no sense whatsoever.
That's because I had to tell 2 stories at the same time.
Okay, TTA, give me a story.
Okay, TTA. So there are tons of amazing things to see in Tomorrowland, and the Tomorrowland Transit
Is that a
Authority People
story or
Mover.
is that just a tour?
The Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover is your quiet, carefree highway in the sky. That's the story. There you go.
So if
Concepts can spawn implicit stories, and that's my point. That's Walt Disney
so
Imagineering's
Tomorrowland
point.
Speedway?
Tomorrowland Speedway is a speedway. There's Tomorrowland is a speedway in town, and you're driving your own cars to the finish line.
What town?
What?
You said-
Tomorrowland.
Is Tomorrowland now a thriving metropolis?
It is. I think so. They got
Is there a
enough to be-
story on the monorail?
No, because the
Look,
transportation.
you don't need a
The
story.
monorail
like,
is not an
this is-
attraction. It's
No. ESPN is just such an obscure thing. Like, they have nothing to do with that. Like, how do you make a ride out of ESPN? That's what the real answer is. It has nothing to do with finding a story or finding whatever. They just can't do anything with it.
Okay, sure. Anyway, and so to wrap up this thing, because I didn't expect to argue with Darren over the the motives of the Walt Disney Imagineering, I'm telling if you ask any Imagineer, they'll tell you their primary goals.
They'll tell you they're a storyteller, but I listened to an interview with a writer who said that that he once talked to a guy who made roller coasters, and he referred to himself as a storyteller. And he said, "No, you're not. You're a guy who makes roller coasters. You're not a storyteller. You know, storytellers are people that don't view themselves as storytellers. Storytellers are the people that just do. They don't have this I'm a storyteller attitude."
Sure, counter an opinion with another. Counter someone's What I want to say
Look,
opinion.
this is
not
a
opinion.
professional
Anyway.
writer.
Okay,
who
and
doesn't-
Imagineers are
who
professional
doesn't view
engineers.
himself.
Anyway, this is the funniest part of this article by far, is that when the investors asked if Disney wanted to broker new licensing deals with other franchise owners, like they did with Avatar, and also Iger said, "We don't have to license from third parties. We own them all." And that was my favorite part of the entire article. That's where it ends. It just ends right there.
That's fantastic.
I thought that was great.
Maybe he should own some storytellers.
Yeah. I thought that was really, really good. 'Cause he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, we own Marvel, we own Pixar, we own Lucasfilm. What other third parties are there?" I thought that was pretty funny. So there you go. With your Star Wars stuff.
Toy Story Mania.
Really? That's one of the more obvious ones.
I don't think so.
Really? There is a game.
There's a game.
Yes. Through the ride.
So
you'll
you're
see,
playing a game.
Yes.
That's the story?
Through the ride, in the queue especially, you'll see boxes saying that Toy Story Midway Mania is like a toy, right?
Okay.
And it's the unboxing of the toy, and you're playing through the ride.
That's really
It's not
weak.
much of a story. The stories
That's
are very open-ended. And
They're very
that's,
weak. Open-ended is another word for weak.
I don't think so. Anyway,
Look, Expedition Everest, great story. You know, that's an original story. That's a great story.
okay, tell me the
So-
story then.
What?
Tell me the story. That's one of the more, okay, I'll tell you, that's one of the more explicit stories because there's actually something going on and
Yeah,
stuff.
you know, Rock and Roller Coaster.
Rock and Roller Coaster is
That's
another explicit
Obvious
story.
story.
Yes.
You know, Journey to
Tower
Imagination.
of Terror,
obvious.
another explicit story.
Yeah.
Journey to Imagination, another explicit story.
I don't think that unless this is a very Eisnerish
And
theory.
in my opinion, the
but,
implicit
like,
stories are the
the
better
pre-show
ones.
is what sets up the story, right?
Okay.
Like, I don't think you could say it's a ride that has a story unless there's some sort of pre-show.
in my
because-
opinion, the implicit stories are the better ones. And I was gonna make a comment about Awesomeness TV being spoken of in the chat, but we won't. We'll say that for another day.
Yeah.
Welcome to this over there. We have a very dissatisfied employee of, well, not employee, but partner of Awesomeness TV.
I would say employee.
Except
I
you don't
make
get
them
paid.
money.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Dinosaur's a more
Awesomeness TV.
explicit story,
Um,
right? Aren't you trying to like get this dinosaur before they're all going extinct or something? That's a very
Kinda.
explicit story.
But then you have your Jungle Cruise ride, which is just all over the place.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
Legit. Darren wants to know the sorcery that you were able to cancel your contract with.
Yes. Whoa. They owe me several $100s. Please tell me the secrets of your ways.
There you go. That's another time, guys.
Yeah, hit me up on Skype after this.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And in my anyway, so in my opinion,
we want to go back to the paint scheme, right? You said you wanted to go back to that.
I did.
I was in the middle of talking about it, and you're like, "We'll get back to it."
I
think.
Well, then you
think-
have something to say about it, don't you?
Oh yeah, I think it's a bad idea. I'll just leave it there.
Look what Legit said. He said, "I wasn't 18 when I signed the contract. My parents didn't sign either." Of
Yeah.
course, it's a problem if your parents did sign it.
Well, mine didn't, and I'm not 18 yet. So.
There you go. Go complain. Have fun.
I have sent them various mails.
Anyway, back
I've
to paint.
actually...
Back to paint.
Oh, okay. Let's go back.
What do you want to say about the paint? She said you were talking.
I think Knight put this best. It's changed just for the sake of change.
Right.
And you know, like I said with justifying this, you know, a lot of times we rat on Tomorrowland saying, oh, it hasn't gotten a single update since like the 90s, right? Like the
Okay.
last time Tomorrowland as a whole got updated was, you know, 1992 or whatever. Like that's 20 years ago.
I'm happy with the
So-
current state of Tomorrowland.
But it's really
Except for
20
Stitch.
years ago land.
Except for
It's
Stitch.
not-
And, what else don't I like? That's really it, just Stitch.
I used to not like Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, and it started to grow on me.
I love that from the beginning. Oh, I love Laugh Floor.
Really?
Well, if anything, with all the stupid stuff better on MC Parks, it's made me like it less. But
So, going back to the paint scheme thing, I think that the colors were horrible, but, you know, like I said, you know, they don't just spitball these things like everybody says they do, you know?
well, obviously not
There's
spitballed.
there's
but I
thought that goes into these things. Like, they have projections of how things will be in the future,
Right.
you know? They have an entire research and development team, and I'm sure that this is
Although-
mostly for Tomorrowland, mostly for Future World and Epcot, but, you know, things do trickle down over
Yeah.
into Tomorrowland.
Now listen, although I, until I see this vision come to fruition, I will critique it. and
Okay,
not be
perfect
happy
example. You and I, from day one, hated the new Epcot Intervention Plaza paint scheme, right?
about it. It grew on me though.
Yeah,
So
I like
I
it.
don't hate it anymore. And
I
that's
don't
not because they showed us more of it. It's because I've just started to accept it and like it more.
You know what it was for me? It's once it was complete, like it made sense,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Like the previous paint scheme, it was very uniform, and you know that's not really where we're heading with the world. We're running into this
Okay,
this
now you're
new age of
it's not as metaphorical as you think.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying, they're looking towards the future. They're looking.
You're gonna think you're trying to bring in this. Oh, it's the the future metaphor. You're trying to. Think
No,
it's not metaphorical at all.
It's not metaphorical at all. It 100% isn't metaphorical.
Well, that's what you're saying.
But it's
That's what you're about. That is what you're about to say.
I'm not trying to use the word represent, but
but because you're trying to use the word represent.
No.
Shows me
that
what you're trying to say is a metaphor. No.
Look, just let me finish the sentence,
Okay, go ahead.
right?
The sentence.
Okay, so the issue is, right, they have to be on top of the ball at all times. So they look at, the trends of where everything's heading in the world, and they see this, I guess, not chaos, but, there's just this lack of uniformness in the world, right? And so the paint scheme that was, the future back then isn't the future that's right now.
Hold on, Darren, I'm gonna mute you for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself on your end for a minute. It's a metaphor! Okay, done. Alright.
What'd you say?
Nothing. He's trying to say that it's a metaphor and it's not a metaphor. Let's shut up, okay? Got it.
That's not the entire reason. I'm sure that's a large portion of the reason, is that they just have to be on top of the ball, When you throw the word tomorrow or future around in anything, you just have to be on top of it.
When you were saying that, I had you muted. I had my microphone muted so you wouldn't hear me, and I was saying things about how it's a metaphor, how you think it's a metaphor. All right.
It's not a metaphor. If it was a metaphor,
it's not a metaphor. You're trying to say that it's a metaphor.
I'm 100% not trying to say it's a metaphor.
Okay, got it.
If it was a metaphor, I'd be like, oh, it represents whatever. It doesn't represent anything. They're just trying to stay on the ball. They're just trying to stay on top of everything.
Sure. All right, got it. All right. I don't have anything else to say. Do you?
No, it's not a metaphor.
Okay, I agree with you. I don't agree that I think you were trying to defend the opposite point. Okay, anyway, that's all I got for tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a metaphor, though.
Got it.
Thank you guys for watching. More importantly, thank you for listening. Feel free to check us out on the donation page. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, rate us on iTunes, even though we haven't been on iTunes in the past few months. We're working on that issue a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Thank you guys for watching. We shall see you guys next time.
Bye.